virtual farmers, how are you doing? Thanks for clicking and stopping by a review and basics guide for the game Big Farm Story. Following a similar formula for many in the genre, you have a grandparent and something has happened to said grandparent, and you need to revamp the farm or save it somehow. Am I the only one who notices the start of this at so many games? In this one, your granddad's gone missing, and a good part of the exploration tour through the first part of the story is involved in just finding him. A main feature, and a place you'll probably spend a bit of time, is in your farm plots, with the well that accompanies them. And it's also the first place that we're getting started by unlocking this well and planting some carrots with Benny's expert help. Seeds, water, and weight. Per usual, there are some different growth times on the variety of seeds, so plan accordingly. The well gives a set amount of water per day, but with each level comes a token choice now since the upgrade, and those can be used for a choice in how you want to develop your farm. Given how many other activities will require crops, farming is quite worth expending some of your daily energy on, even from the beginning. The story starts clicking through into other areas around your farm, and you'll unlock more as you go along, but in each of these areas there will be a variety of materials to gather that will be needed for activities from farming, to cooking, to crafting. There's even a few NPCs, yep, all really standard stuff. They're pretty clueless when it comes to what's happening with your grandfather, but they're trying to be helpful with other quests like helping you get the barns on your property unlocked and animals acquired. So just keep chipping away at their quest chains. They also have relationship meters in the menu, although at this point it just seems to offer one or more thing to do for grinding gifts. Perhaps there will be more done with that in the future. At least there's plenty to do fixing up the farm with broken items scattered about. Clicking on each item will pop up a window letting you know what list of items are needed. The house is among one of the things that can be upgraded, and this will provide you with more space or the ability to further customize the appearance of the exterior. I saw that there were some DLCs available for further styling if one really gets into this game. The NPCs in neighboring areas also have furniture, decor, recipes, and tools available for sale, of which probably more unlocks through progression. This allows for customization of your immediate farm area and more extensively inside the home's interior. The tiny town area is busy with both NPCs and other players for their own big farms that are going. You can and should add a few of them to assist on farms. Through doing so, you acquire friendship tokens, which have their own item table for upgrades. Plenty of your game tokens can be spent here, including with the mayor for your major upgrades in both farming and construction. There are additional farm plot unlocks, well upgrades, barn upgrades, new crops. This is basically where all the goods are at. The little old lady will keep you busy, and her llama's weird. She will trade you the building materials, otherwise unobtainable by scavenging. This is also where most of your paycheck seems to come from. Unlocking the llama allows for deliveries to the shop when you're anywhere on the map. Most of the NPCs will all have some contribution to the mystery of Gramps. Not all helpful, but at least by the time you've wandered below town, there's a wharf with more to do. Expanding on your fishing and purchasing from the sailor gets you doing tons of casting. Most of the incentive seems to be from collecting items that you will most want to decorate your place with. If you didn't already notice, there's a cutie pet in tow, and occasionally they've got an exclamation point above their head, which means treats for you. Different pets may come back with other varieties of treasures. The more they've leveled up, the more likely chance of fetching good loot. I'm going to admit that the corgi is probably one of the best things in the game. Look at his face! This was something I had purchased shortly before it exited early access, and have noticed the game's gotten some fairly steady updating and quality of life changes. Among them were the fishing traps that showed up in multiple places, or even how many more casts you can get in for catches. Making fishing a more frantic activity as fishes respond quickly, but also a good way to burn up excess energy. Admittedly, I haven't picked it up in quite some time, But prior to getting sucked into scrap mechanic for a month or two, this little big farm story had already progressed into repairing the boat trying to locate Granddad. Among the other features I managed to unlock during progression was the crafting bench, the preserve maker, and the standard stove. Not exactly in that order, and I can't remember, but I believe it was the stove first, because cooking does become another gateway obsession with an NPC who will take your finished dishes in exchange for tokens. These tokens snag new recipes, special ingredients, and decor too, of course. The preserver doesn't act much different than the stove, but it just takes longer. The crafting bench is steadily acquiring recipes for random parts that one day might be used for bigger creations if I can afford the recipes. The entire right side of the house gets designed as a crafting room, kind of like my grandmother's old sewing room when I was a kid. It's already pretty crowded with just the equipment, but with the editing feature inside the house, there's lots of space that can be swapped for wall hangings and furniture. The barns on the acreage are categorized by small and large, each holding a selection of animals from those size categories. The small barns start out with chickens, which you must nurture until fully grown with bottles and love. Once matured, you switch to small animal feed and get eggs back every couple days. Geese and rabbits seem to be a part of the future lineup immediately known. The large barn features cows, obtained through a cute questline with Sam being sneaky. Cows have a similar method to raising as the chickens by bottle and eventually large animal feed. Future residents of the large barn include sheep and llamas. The animal feed is where the windmill comes in. This auxiliary building takes a variety of materials and turns them into feed or fertilizer. And this fertilizer is used for growing fruit in the orchard located on your farm. Unlocking the seeds for apples, oranges, and other trees requires the farming tokens. It's cute, it's pretty charming, it's pretty kid appropriate with story and engagement. There's no violence, you can't even take damage, there's no way to even fall since the environments have limited paths. There's a lot of routine over time, but that might be the kind of space out game that people are looking for. Collect a lot of materials, make stuff, grow stuff, take care of animals, do errands for NPCs, and decorate your virtual space. There's nothing super innovative about it, but there doesn't have to be. Even I've lost some hours on it without realizing how much time was sunk. It's Big Farm Story, you can find it on Steam, and if there's significant developments in the game, then I'll do some updates. Take care, y'all. Bye-bye!